Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now I have a lot of people asking me what PBQs are, and this video is going to be pretty quick, just kind of explaining what to expect, from my experience. Now, PBQs are performance-based questions, and specifically when it comes to CompTIA, the way how their PBQs are structured might be different depending on the test that you're taking, right? So depending on if you're doing your Security Plus or A Plus and things of that nature, you will have a different set of PBQs and it might be structured differently. But what you should expect is drag and drops for sure. And sometimes you might have to configure a firewall, right? If you're doing the CYSA Plus or something like that, you might have to do some email analysis, right? You might have to configure a router or a switch or something of that nature, depending on what you are doing, right? And remember, the PBQs can take up to like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. This is why I always recommend that you take the PBQs after you complete all the multiple choice questions, because you have the option to skip questions, right? So when you start the test, it's going to have the PBQs in the beginning, right? So you have like about 3 or 4. I think the most that I ever got was about like 4 PBQs. So you get about 3 or 4 PBQs. I think you could get up to 5. So let's say you get between 3 to 5 PBQs, right? As soon as you start the test, you're skipping them. You flag them, skip, flag, skip, flag, skip, flag, skip, and you move on until you get to the multiple choice part. When you get the multiple choice part done, then you come back, because now you don't have to worry about the time, right? When you come back to the PBQs, you want to have the time to be able to just chill, go through the questions, understand it, and take your time. Because like I said, this is performance-based, right? And in the real world, there's no time limit on certain things. You have to take your time. Let's just say you analyzing emails or something of that nature. You have to take your time to go through the emails, inspect the header of the email, all that good stuff. And it's not something that's a multiple choice structure, right? You have to actually know what you're doing. So when you get to the PBQs, that's what it is, right? It's trying to resemble the real world that you will be encountering, or what you will be encountering in the real world will be the better way to say it. And you want to make sure that you have enough time for you to process the question and everything that they're saying. So in that way, you can get these answers right and, successfully pass these exams, right? So again, the performance-based questions, I can't necessarily just tell you what exact performance-based question you're going to get, because every performance-based question is different. And it's also different based on the version of the test that you're going to be taking, right? You could be taking the Network Plus, and I took the Network Plus, but if I took a previous version, it still might be different from what you will see. So that's all the stuff that you have to take in consideration when you getting prepared for this exam, all right? So make sure that you have some kind of skills. I tell people all the time, it's very easy to build your own home lab, right? You get some virtual machines installed on your device, and let's say you're preparing for like the CompTIA A+. You might want to set up Active Directory on there, right? And get used to setting up new users and these things, right? And all of these stuff is good projects to have on your portfolio, okay? So you might create a portfolio using GitHub or something, and you're able to add these different projects that you did on there and make it pretty easy, and show that, hey, yes, you might not be working for a company, but you do take the time out to practice your skills and sharpen up your skills, and that's what a lot of employers are looking for. So yeah, guys, the PBQs are just performance-based questions, and it's multiple part type of question. Sometimes you'll have to drag and drop things here and there. You might have to configure the firewall. You might have to, like I said, do some email analysis or packet analysis, or you might have to configure a network switch or router or something of that nature. And on the exam, they give you these performance-based questions to simulate real world experience, real world tasks that you would need to accomplish. And you have a certain amount of time to complete it. And like I said, it will take you some time. It's not like the multiple choice questions where you got A, B, and C, and D, and you're able to get through them pretty fast. You will need to be able to take some time out and understand. I always try to have between 20-30 minutes of time remaining for me to do the PBQs, because I want to make sure that I'm paying attention. I want to make sure that I'm actually understanding what they're asking me to do so I can get it right, you know? Because one of the things I will say is I don't know what the grading structure is on the PBQs. I'm not sure if you get one part of it wrong, you get everything wrong, or if you get one part of it wrong and you get the rest right. The parts that you get right, you get points, and the parts you don't get right, you don't get points. I really don't know. So you want to try to do your best at it, because they're worth a lot of points for sure. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.